There was no point. What are you talking? There was no point. Okay, was I supposed to be?
He went like this.
Yeah, he went like this. You missed that one.
I thought I saw that. I thought that's because he did that right when Archaic started coughing really loud. And I thought he was trying to tell Archaic to stop coughing.
I thought he was trying to get silence on the set,
exactly.
But
that's not the signal. Wrong signal.
Go. Take 3. Let's go.
No, I thought I was just gonna leave that in. Let's go.
Let's go, Oyster. What show is this?
Wait! Somebody fall down. I'll hold up this red card and we can keep going. Somebody keep track of the time. Hold on, we can do this. We can do this. You know what? Don't keep track of the time. Just add, I don't know, 97 seconds at the end. It'll be fine.
Okay, hashtag blame whack is now a thing for that.
Oh, goodness. Where's the yellow card? Somebody pull it out.
It's red, dude.
Oyster gets a yellow card for delay of game. Well played. There we go. Yellow card.
The back of my checkbook.
I do know that. One more and you're out.
You guys might want to check your Twitter feed because the trend has begun.
How come no one told me my lighting was crap? I didn't have my window open, my lamp on.
Just to be clear, we haven't actually started yet, right?
It always is, so we just let it go.
Rolling.
But we haven't officially started.
Oh, it's going. This is it. Welcome to 3 of our exploits number 49. No intro needed.
Well, I know we record pre-show, so we
usually record pre-show, but I didn't today.
See, I wish he was recording that whole argument with Bondfire because Bondfire got so mad.
He probably was. Bondfire was so angry.
Bondfire was talking because I'm ready to cut your throats. Just move on. Let's go.
I like that kind
That's a little extreme, I think, but okay.
Bondfire is so angry. I'm gonna make sure I bring up some soccer while I'm up there.
Oh my god.
Do it. I won't pick you up.
Hashtag stranded at the airport.
Alright, I'm gonna tweet again. Hang on.
You're gonna have to get a flight to Seattle from PGX.
Actually, most of mine are routing through Seattle, so I could just stop there.
Really? That's weird.
Yeah, because most of them fly through Alaskan, and it flies from DFW to Seattle.
Gotcha. That makes sense. It's kind of random, though.
Just depends on who I fly through.
And before we keep going, I want to thank Strictly Business Gaming. Doing great things. Looking forward to Season 3.
Season 3 is over.
Season 3 should be
They're not
starting.
in it.
They're not
in it.
I thought they had the ability to get there with the draft picks or something. I don't know.
No.
They are out.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
By the way,
there's no reason to have 3 seasons for a game that lasts 1 year. That's kind of
it's fine. I think it's fine. There's no problem with having that many seasons. It's just MLG's completely inept and awful and a satanic company. So yeah, I went there.
There's a huge problem with MLG altogether. The way they play games and recording is. In scoring is retarded. There's no reason if you get beat one time that score should be brought back up again in a future game.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
regardless of getting that specific, MLG is completely inept. They're trying to create a league played online. They're having a league that has no significance other than qualifying for an event that has a mixture of amateurs and pros playing against each other in different ways each event they have, but you shouldn't have amateurs and pros playing against each other anyways, for starters. That's your mistake number 1. Okay, mistake number 2 is having a league for a game that hinges on ping be played online and have that as a qualifier. That's also idiotic. That's mistake number 2. Mistake number 3 was pissing off all the players by making it so that they have to stream on MLG or else they can't stream at all. And mistake number 4 is being just generally money hungry and also completely inept at the same time. You can either pick one or you can pick the other, but you can't pick both. If you're going to be money hungry, at least have your operation be good, okay? Or if you're going to have a crappy operation, at least say that you're trying hard and you're not just in it for the money and being greedy. But you can't be both. You're a terrible company, and you need to let somebody else take over Call of Duty because you're ruining it.
I actually like that monologue. That was pretty well done.
And that's all I've got for the next about 5 minutes, so somebody else can say something.
His talk bank is empty.
How long is a season?
It just... let's see. This one ran from whenever this one started at UMG Niagara, or right after it, didn't it? Season 2.
So they're arbitrary.
Season 3 hasn't started because they haven't had the draft yet. They haven't.
And
they have to establish
the draft starts
first.
on the 14th.
Something like that.
I did read the rules. I don't like them. I don't like what MLG has done. Adam has tweeted out with like 8 of the big owners. And those 8 people got to set the rules, basically. Adam is a top personnel at MLG.
He's a high-ranking MLG organizer, and
he organizes all the MLG events.
Yes, basically.
He's the one that organizes Anaheim, all that stuff. So, and then he tweeted out he had a meeting with Envy, Optic, Denial, Evil Geniuses, FaZe, Elevate, Team Caliber, Justice, and Rise.
Is Curse not on that list?
No, it was not.
That's surprising.
There was some pretty notable names not on that list.
That's also stupid. Like, okay, mistake number 5. I'll just keep tallying as we go and as the story unfolds. Mistake number 5, not having one of the biggest esports organizations in the world that's relevant in every other major game not be part of your process of corrupting the game. At least if you're corrupted, have the big boys in there to corrupt it. Don't be stupid.
I don't.
In there. Like,
how do you leave Curse out when they are like
so stupid?
They're the main group next to Riot when it comes to League of Legends, which is honestly one of the biggest. One of the biggest esports in the world.
They have Curse every esport except now apparently Call of Duty because they didn't invite them to their little secret meeting.
They're in season 3.
Oh well.
One of their teams is Curse Oranges, I think, but not Black.
So why is season 3 limited to 12 teams? Did anybody understand that?
They've all been limited to 12.
I don't get it. I feel like
it was a huge open tournament.
Go by, and then new season. Let's go, new season.
No, I mean
the problem is
then
not
2 competitions go by, like all right, new season. Let's switch up.
That's the thing. The problem is not the frequency of the seasons. That's not the problem. The problem is the lack of any clear way of determining who's in, who's out, how it works each season. Yeah. If it were very clearly defined how each thing would work, then the frequency of seasons wouldn't be an issue. It's just that there's always so much confusion. There should not be this much confusion at the end of each season, regardless of why there's confusion, but there's always some controversy going between each season. And it just doesn't it's stupid.
You know what would make more sense to me? Say, look, we're going to have a tournament every month. It's going to be the first weekend of the month, last week, something. I don't care when. Just pick a date. One a month. And every 4 months, we're going to review the rules. Or every time the game is patched, we're going to review the rules. You don't have to make it a new season. Just say we're going to have 12 tournaments. And the season's going to run from, I don't know, January to January, December to December. Every time the game is patched, we will review the rules to make sure, because what was that guy? The Cap 40 was in, and then it was out because it was too strong or whatever.
It's because you can just spray and pray with it, and if you're in close, it equals a shotgun is what it does, and it doesn't cost the same.
And there's other guns from Black Ops that were patched because of their super awesomeness or their lack of awesomeness. The PDW when the game started. It was a LMG clip in an SMG fire rate with AR power, and it was way too overpowered. I don't know, did they ever get rid of that gun from League play or not?
No, but to the point where it was awful.
Yeah, it just got super nerfed by Treyarch.
That's acceptable, but
it's acceptable for me as a player in the public. Is that acceptable for a major league professional player though? You know, this is supposed to be a better organization than public.
So.
Well, part of the reason that professional gaming has a chance to succeed and become big is because it provides a link between the common player and the professional, in that even though that professional is way better than you and they're making money and they're playing in a more organized way and they're playing with slightly different rules, you're still playing the same game as them. So I think banning a gun should not be preferred to straight up nerfing a gun into the ground, to be completely honest, and a professional player should be okay with having to adapt to the same game that everybody else has to adapt to. That's part of how it should work. just in general.
That's part of the challenge of being a professional COD player.
Professional player for any
professional
game.
esports player. I mean, everything gets changed around in all games. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with them getting rid of... I don't like them when they ban guns, but the Cap 40 in particular, I'll use that as my example, it isn't particularly that strong a gun outside of, extremely close range. Because if it's not dual-wielded, it kind of is garbo. But it was being used entirely too often as a secondary shotgun, when there was a secondary shotgun that people weren't using because it sucked.
That gun
but like, why
was
they should?
always garbage.
Then they should.
Executioner. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I like.
But they should
like
nerf the Cat 40 then into the ground instead of banning it. I think.
How do you nerf it?
Fire rate.
Won't help too much.
Yeah, it will, because then it can't
Because
shoot bullets fast enough to beat an SMG.
Only way people used it was akimbo.
Not in professional play.
It costs too many slot points.
We're talking about rules. Akimbo's banned in professional play, is it not?
That
So
is.
we're talking about. So, but like, regardless, like people who are ignorant when it comes to like professional gaming and say, oh, they should be playing the exact same game as us pub players, and there should be zero differences as far as rules or guns or anything. They're wrong, but it comes from a decent place in that it should be a similar game as possible. So I personally have the feel that you should never ban any guns. You should just, hopefully you have a good relationship with the company that makes the game, and you can then coordinate, okay, we need X gun and Y gun to be nerfed to balance the play. If a gun is OP in competitive play, there's a pretty consistent carryover rate to it being OP in regular games as well.
I would say that some guns are OP on certain maps. It's not all maps that they're insanely powerful on.
But then that comes down to map diversity, which is a good thing. Like,
yeah, I'm not knocking it, but the maps that the pros play on the pro circuit tend to all be the same in their general layout, for the most part. I think Standoff is the one kind of offshoot of that.
I wish that they would include other maps. There's no reason they can't bring in the DLC maps. There's no reason that they can't modify the rules if they're going to change seasons, especially. Why don't you include all of your DLC? If there's any map that's valid from the DLC, bring it in. If there's not, then that's fine. But we've been doing league play, and we're playing the same maps over and over and over. I'm tired of Hardpoint on Yemen, even though I haven't played it for a week. But, I mean, as an example,
yep.
I'm tired of
something better.
Roy on Meltdown. Yeah. Meltdown was a terrible map.
I don't know. I got a Scorpion.
How that ended up in pro play.
It's good.
Yeah,
for
that's
surfers.
also
because
it's also the map that Oyster ended up getting his TAC 45 ace on it. So.
Yeah, it was the same game.
Which was a 4-on-1 also. Actually a 3-on-1, but barely.
I agree with what you're saying, though. Like, as a spectator, I would like to see more of a variety of maps. And it's stupid that they don't include those things.
I do agree. There should be more maps, but some of the maps that Call of Duty implements are just god-awful in the first place. So...
True.
It goes back to your adaptation. These players
Hijacked and
I mean, I agree that they can expand some maps at like the amount of maps they use, but there are some maps that just have no business being played in a professional. If you're trying to determine who the best players are, there's some maps that just don't work, but they should expand.
The reason Meltdown was in there is because it was almost perfectly symmetrical. As far as the major shapes of the map, it was almost perfect. There was no PowerPoint, which is why Carrier was never on there, because it was so atypical.
So one-sided.
And it had terrible spawns. Oh, wow. One of the worst
every
spawning.
map has terrible spawns.
Yeah, but it was especially...
That's a Call of Duty thing.
It was especially bad.
I like that map.
One of the things I am interested in is seeing how maps work out and what the competition situation will be like for Destiny. Bonfire, watching your gameplays for the Destiny alpha that you've been playing through, it's really hard to get a sense of how strong the competitive play will play, or if that'll even be a thing. Like, can you speak to that? Because it's not you, it's just that watching it gives you a different feel.
Well, no, what do you mean a competitive play? You're talking in terms of like a league play type thing?
A league play or a professional...
A pro circuit.
A pro circuit.
PvP?
I mean, they did it with Halo, and it feels very similar to Halo. I mean, there's a lot of similarities. I would describe it as it feels like Halo, but they've incorporated a lot of modern first-person shooter elements in it, such as like aiming down sights, being able to sprint all the time. You can use your powers, which that could create some imbalancing issues, I guess, in terms of a professional circuit. So I don't know how they would do that. Another potential imbalancing thing just in the game in general that I noticed was any weapons you find in whatever level you are within the other elements of the game, you can carry over into multiplayer, and you can switch your gun at any time. So if you're using a sniper, it's not working so well, and you got a shotgun in your inventory, you can just switch it up right there. Granted, you have to go find ammo for it, but you can just do that at any time. And so if you've got someone who's like a really high level player, and maybe he found some like really legendary weapon or something, if he brings that into multiplayer, he's going to be wreck and train. So I anticipate they'll have some. They did a really good job with Halo 3, what Bungie did in terms of matching people up based on skill instead of experience. So I anticipate they'll do that, but it's so much fun. I mean, it's a lot like Halo, though.
I have a question. So you're basically saying that there is a more distinct advantage when it comes to like being high. Like if I'm level 30 compared to against a guy who's level 10. I don't know what the levels are.
There's a very distinct gear advantage, assuming you have farmed.
Much more than it would be in other shooters like Call of Duty, for example, where it's really not that much of an advantage most of the time.
Correct. It's just a skill gap.
See, I like that because, I don't know, there's something about, and I know this is more common in like MMO type games or like MOBAs and stuff, where if you're higher level than someone, then it's a significant advantage and you have more stuff. But I kind of like that being carried into a first person shooter because it feels like if you're level, like I liked it back in the old CODs when you had the best guns were unlocked when you hit max level or when you were close to max level, and that's when the best guns in the games are unlocked. Because I just think it makes it more fun to try to grind the levels, whereas that's really kind of non-existent in most other first-person shooters now. There's no reward to trying to grind out prestiges or levels, and I think it just adds a little bit more depth to the game as well, assuming that they get the matchmaking correct so that while there is some gap, obviously it doesn't have to be everybody at the same level, but you don't want people who have a huge advantage against other people that don't. But I kind of like that aspect.
That's what I was saying. But I have faith in Bungie that they'll do a good job on that because referencing back with Halo 3. That was all matched based on your skill. It wasn't like the more recent Halos where it's experience based. It was skill based. And so I think they can pull it off.
I don't think that's going to be. I mean, your professional players aren't going to have to play through the campaign to play PvP, are they? So you'd have a.
They would just have to limit the weapons. Yeah,
they would just set the weapons and say there's not going to be. If there's a legendary shotgun, then everyone has access to the legendary shotgun. Everybody can pull from the same pool of weaponry, because that would have to be balanced. Other than that, it would just be how many hours can you sink into Destiny to get those really cool weapons, and then it'll be how can you dupe them, how can you trade them, how can you manufacture them outside of the game. So you're going to have those problems and issues. As far as the powers go, I'm hoping they leave those kinds of things in, because they're based on your skill set. So who do you take into battle? Well, if you're all, I don't know any of the classifications, but if you take it to like a Borderlands 2, if you take in all sirens, that's going to be a huge disadvantage against your soldiers.
Oh no, the powers don't work like that. The powers are your kill streak. Yeah, they're your kill streak essentially. You can get 1, 2. I've gotten 3 in one game before, but that's the max I've gotten.
So it would be a skill streak, and we see that they already know how to deal with score streaks or kill streaks in competitive plays now.
Well, there's what, 3 different classes, or at least that's what was in the beta. I don't know if that's
I think
or
that's
the
in
alpha.
the final game as well.
I would assume there's 3 at least, if not 1 or 2 more that they didn't let anyone have access to yet.
It's not Titanfall. Oh my god!
Wow. Anyways,
Crap,
I
don't have my
played the
sound
Hunter.
effects ready. I've had them up like almost all show except for right then.
I had them up, but I just didn't. I didn't hit it. So.
I'm so disappointed in myself.
Anyways, the Hunter's ability is Golden Gun, which takes it back to James Bond. It's literally the James Bond Golden Gun. 1-shot kill. That's it. Kind of OP. You get two or 3 bullets. I can't remember Bondfire.
I've shot in I think you get 4. I think it's a time based. It's a very short time span, but I think it's time based because I think I've shot it 4 times and then I was done.
Anyways,
you gotta hit him. I mean, you gotta hit him.
You gotta hit him. I think it does splash damage, but it's not a 1-shot kill.
Yeah, it's not very good splash damage as opposed to the Warlock or the Titan.
I haven't. Bondfire will have to attest to those. I did get hit with some of those skills, and they're just as strong.
Mm-hmm.
But they're. I don't think the Titan's is ranged, is it?
So to explain the power, so we already got. You explained the Warlock. So I'm sorry, you explained the Hunter. The Warlock, what they do is they basically throw a ball of energy at the ground, and it explodes, and anything within that radius is done for. And that's similar to the Titan's power, in which he just kind of jumps up, smashes the ground, and anything within that blast radius of him smashing is gone.
So you've got. I'm sorry.
I was going to say you have 3 different types, and they can be used in various ways.
So you've got something that sounds like a war machine, something that sounds like a mortar strike that you have to be in range of. So these are not brand new things. These are things that have been controlled in other games. I'm not trying to take it directly to Call of Duty. I'm saying there's a comparison to other games who have balanced this in a competitive style. I'm hoping they leave it in.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. Doesn't League of Legends, don't some of those guys have different abilities and things like that?
Yes, very much. No character has the same skill set, but
they're all balanced, and that is the game. They only have powers.
I wouldn't say they're all balanced, but
there's an element of balancing there. You're right.
Yeah.
Some are much more powerful than others.
So,
any of them that I use, they suck.
No, that's the funny part is you're using top tier characters. You just do bad.
It's all about my mouse. What my mouse does is not correct.
Oyster's not even chiming in on this.
No,
he gets what I'm saying. I'm saying that I'm the bad player. It's not the champion.
Or in your case, the loser.
Yes, the loser. He did lose with his team to some stuff he wasn't supposed to lose to ever. So
he lost to beginner bots that.
Who?
Did you lose the game? You lost the game against beginner bots.
Yes, I did.
Which,
and I'm taking a line that I learned from TacticalOyster. It was all my teammates' fault. I had no choice. I did everything I could. I was the star of the show. You brought me down.
Wow. See, that's the thing, though, is if you really were doing so great, you could have carried against the beginner.
Yeah, against bots, you could have won.
They have no intellect, so you can't get outplayed against the bot. You just have to lose. You have to beat yourself. So clearly, nobody was deserving of winning on that team.
Well, beginner bots, you can't get outplayed.
Yeah, unless you're playing 1v5 like I do.
I haven't seen a League of Legends.
Can get outplayed.
I haven't seen a League of Legends for Dummies on how to carry the entire team yet. So I'm waiting for that episode. Maybe when I watch it, I will have a full understanding of how.
Because you can't, you can't carry the entire team. It's not possible.
That's why I got to watch League of Legends for Dummies.
You can't.
That's twice I've given you it.
I feel like there's tons of shots fired going on.
I'm giving him an opportunity to hit the cha-ching and get his little watch my video thing in there, and he's just.
I was about to get to that actually and say that I've got a new League of Legends series started tomorrow yesterday as of this time. So, you should definitely go check that out, I guess.
Wow. Oh, by the way, Destiny is supposed to get a T rating, T for teen, and this will be, I'm going to ask you guys because saying it would probably just be inaccurate. Do you know of another first-person shooter that's not mature rated mature? Like, while you're thinking about it, from what I've read, they don't have the drugs or tobacco. They don't have the foul language, and that's how they got away from the mature rating. They said they weren't really worried about the mature rating, but that's not what the game's about. It's not about doing drugs or smoking cigars or drinking whiskey. It's not about foul language. It's not about shooting prostitutes or having prostitutes. That's not what the game's about. And because they stayed true to what their storyline was and didn't go for those things, they got a T for teen rating. I'm impressed. Was Halo mature?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why. Probably because of Cortana, that dirty girl.
Wow. I think.
Look at Bondfire smile.
I think there's gore. I think there's gore in Halo. I think that's what they got it for.
For gore.
For gore.
I wonder if they'll.
And Destiny doesn't have that.
I wonder if they'll retrofit that.
I would prefer Destiny be mature, honestly. If you have to remove gore for it to be a teen rating, I honestly don't care.
Yeah, but that's what the developer
But it's not like
said.
they were going for a teen rating, though.
Yeah, the developer said, we made the game. We didn't go for any rating, but this is the rating we got, and we're happy with it. I'm going to do more to support that game because my kids can play it. It's hard to let my kids play Call of Duty with the language, and the cutscenes just contain language that doesn't even fit. It doesn't even fit in the dialogue. I don't know people who talk like that. I know people do, but not everyone adds in bombs.
You're not supposed to play it.
Sentence.
I mean, you're not supposed to be playing the game for the campaign, anyways. If we're being honest, like
you
can't really take shots at COD's writing skills because that's about spot number 97 on their priority list when they're making the game. They probably hired some like wannabe who's got like scripts lying all around Hollywood that he's written screenplays, and just to come write a script for like $20 for their dialogue.
Some of them were pretty strong. I mean, they're pretty good war movies, but I mean, what I'm saying though is it's like they add in dirty language just to have it in there. We're gonna get a mature rating anyway. Let's just fill it up with whatever we want. I mean, why can't you just and to your point, why can't you just write better? You know, provide me an intellectual storyline
some people would argue
in the storyline.
Some people would argue that, and look, I understand your stance on cursing in general and things like that, but like some people would argue that in a series like Call of Duty, where most of the games are, you know, not. I mean, an intellectual storyline just doesn't really fit with that. Like, I could see with a game like, maybe, like, let's take Rainbow Six, for example. Like, that's more of, like, tactical, in-depth, like, lots of stuff going on, not just gameplay-wise, but story-wise. Like, you could have more of an intellectual thing, or things like special ops games and stuff like that, but if it's just a straight-up, like, war game, where we're at war with this other nation or this other group, like, there's not a whole lot of intellectual discussion going on between soldiers in the war, is there? Like
the strategy, I was going to go towards the strategy part of that, but you know, I bring that all up to say that's why I want to support Destiny. That's why I want Destiny to do very well. I want it to be a really good game if it's going to be, you know, the other things that I'm also looking for in a game.
You can use the Titanfall reference for Destiny. It will sell well, just because of who made it.
Okay.
It is going to sell well.
I think it's going to be a fantastic game.
I think it's going to be a good game, but I also felt this way coming out of the Titanfall beta, so...
And once again, Titanfall is a good game. Titanfall is a good game.
Thank you.
It's just, it got boring quickly.
Yeah, it just doesn't have longevity.
And that's
okay,
I know this is a little slightly off topic, but I wanted to get this question in here earlier when you guys were talking about specific gameplay stuff. What's the release date for Destiny? It's October or November?
September 9th.
Oh, it's earlier than I thought. Okay, September 9th. So that's 3 months, more than that. It's four-ish months away, somewhere. Do you think that having all this early access and getting to get this much access to the game before it even comes out, like, do you not think that's a bad thing? Like, I know at first I was disappointed that I couldn't play the Destiny beta being on Xbox, but the more I give it more thought, it's like I'm kind of glad, because Titanfall, I mean, and obviously Titanfall, the problem with Titanfall is they didn't add a whole lot that wasn't already in the beta.
Mhm.
That was their mistake, but it felt like we'd already played the game. Like it just kind of ruined the game and made it die out faster. Like, aren't you a little concerned that might happen here as well?
I'm not for. Well, first it was the alpha, and you can get access to the
But
beta.
there is a beta
on the
as well,
Xbox
so
One.
it's even more.
Then you can get access to it. It's end of July for Xbox owners if you pre-order the game. PS3 and PS4 beta start July 17th if you pre-order the game. But
I still haven't decided on console.
From what I've played, I mean, this is going to be a very big game. There's going to be lots of planets to explore, lots of areas to explore. In the story mode, there's going to be lots of side quests. You go to the tower, and to explain the tower, for those of you who don't know, it's basically a central hub where players go to buy equipment, buy armor, get ready to do missions, upgrade your ship, upgrade your vehicle, and this is where you can go and you can just mingle. I mean, that's where it really feels like an MMO. It's where you can interact with people and just hang out. You can have dance parties, and you better believe that's going to be happening. You best believe.
It was happening.
Now, wait a minute. How does the dancing work? Is it a combination of buttons?
You just press a button.
You just press right on your D-pad.
Yeah.
And he just does it all on his own.
Yeah,
you can't hit. Dancing. He doesn't break dance with right, and then you hit left, and he goes into country line dancing or something. You can't. He does it all on his own.
That would be hilarious, though.
Yeah,
that would be cool though.
If you could have more features in there, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome. But I mean, in the alpha, it was such a small little area that you could explore, even though it was actually pretty big.
It was really big.
But that's such a small portion of the game, though, and there's still a lot of things that we haven't even explored. And I know you're going to be able to explore multiple planets. I think they said Mars, Venus, Mercury, even, and I would hope the rest of our solar system. So I really think this is going to be a very large game that's going to have a lot of content. So in playing the beta, I don't feel like I'm really going to overdo it and get bored of this game quickly, because I think there's a lot of content they're holding back.
That's fair.
And
at the same time, though, do you feel like there's any they can make the claim that they need people to beta test the game and alpha test the game, which all games have beta and alpha testers, so that's legitimate. But is there any positive to get, other than saying, oh, we get to play the game early, cool, whatever? I don't really understand why games are going to these. I mean, I guess I do understand why, because it helps build more hype. Because it's but at this point, it's just they're releasing the games earlier than the release date. I don't know, it just seems unnecessary to me to have these open alphas and betas like this. I don't know.
There was a lot of glitches in the alpha.
But you can discover these. All games have glitches in alpha. You can discover that with a closed alpha or a closed beta.
It was a closed alpha.
No, it's okay.
It was a closed alpha.
But also everybody was allowed to share everything they got, and they gave it out to random people. It's not like Call of Duty when they do their alpha and beta, where you have to fly. It's only in specific locations, and they bring you into their building, and you play it in their building and talk about it, and you leave.
Yeah, and you're talking about an NDA.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yes, exactly. So technically, is it closed? Yes, but nothing about it is closed other than that you can't automatically get access for nothing. Other than that, it's completely open. Right. So, I guess I don't get the purpose of that from the game developer standpoint, other than building hype. But
from some of the other games,
possibly stress testing as well.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. For some of these other games that are doing it, the only thing I can see is to build hype, like you were saying. And this is a big trend that's going on. I mean, tons of games are getting betas, and that's just, it's becoming the norm now, is to get early access to games in the earlier versions. Like DayZ, a lot of the Steam games like DayZ and things like that. But with Destiny, I think this is a very good thing that they're doing it, because we've seen games in the past that have launched that don't work well, and since this is a very online-centric, almost MMO-type game, because you're going to have interactions, you're going to have lots of places to explore, and you can actually team up with other people that aren't even in your team to take down a common goal, such as what the public events are. And I know me and Archaic played one of those. So they want to make sure these things are going to work. So I can see it being beneficial for this game, because I think their vision for it, for being a very MMO type game, it's going to be pretty critical that everything works. So I can see it for Destiny. Some of these other games though, I don't see it, but minus hype.
I'm thinking it's about hype. The way that betas are now, it's like you get a demo of the game. And I played Dead Rising 3. I played the demo. It made me want to buy the game, and I subsequently purchased Dead Rising 3. Their demo was that you got 2 30-minute sessions. I think that's what it was. You got 2 30-minute sessions to play the game. Mm-hmm. And I think that was a good enough beta for me, a good enough demo for me. I couldn't accomplish all kinds of things. I couldn't experience all of the game. I couldn't make all of the weapons in the 1 hour time period. It was actually 2 30-minute time periods. So that was enough of a taste for me to want to purchase that game. I'm not saying it's going to be that way with all games, but the wide openness that Oyster's talking about, he's right. That's a lot of gaming that can be done with that alpha. Is it closed yet?
Yeah. The alpha has been done for a while.
Okay. So yeah. The purpose of alpha is you're right, Bondfire, is supposed to be to collect all this data, and as you and Archaic were alluding to, you get all this data, you fix all these bugs, you fix all the problems, the stress loading, and that's supposed to be the purpose of the alpha. And it just seems like now when you get a beta, it's all about hyping you up to purchase the game.
Yeah, it's definitely being used for that. I'm not going to argue there, because I mean, like I said, we're seeing it more and more often, and it's kind of gotten you like really just like another beta. I mean, it's just another selling tool for them. I mean, in terms of, you know, making you pre-order the game. Oh, you get access to such and such if you pre-order the game. Wolfenstein's a great example. I get access to the Doom beta because I pre-ordered and bought Wolfenstein. So, I mean, it's a selling tool at this point. And especially when you're getting a beta so close to release. And with Destiny, you can make this argument that, yeah, I mean, it's just totally a selling tool, and it's so close to release. I mean, it's like 2 months before it releases, so it's really interesting.
You just finished Wolfenstein.
I did.
Was it great all the way through?
I think I really enjoyed it. There's 2 storylines you can kind of do, because there's a choice you make very early on in the game, so you can go, you know, basically it splits down those 2 paths, but it's really fun. I mean, maybe it's not worth the full $60 retail version, but it's still a fantastic game, and I would highly recommend it. And I think they're on sale now. But if you like those linear type first person shooter games, it's great. I mean, it really brings those back. And I mean, Wolfenstein's always been a strong franchise. It's fun. A lot of fun.
I'll pick it up eventually, but I'm not paying more than $30 for it.
That's fair.
Just from what I saw of your gameplay.
I wish you could bid on games and see if the developer would accept it.
Yeah. Well, you know, I watched an interesting video from Boogie2988, and he was talking about game prices and digital pricing and things like that.
Oh, the PlayStation digital thing?
Well, not only...
I saw that video where he was complaining about the PlayStation digital prices and prices of, like, demos and stuff.
PlayStation Now, yeah, I was complaining about that. But I think there was a different video where he was talking about, or maybe it was the same video, but just this need in the industry to have that $60 price tag, and that the developers will just tack on extra things, whether it be like Assassin's Creed multiplayer. I mean, really, is that necessary? Just to tack
I would pay $60 for Assassin's Creed. Give me any Assassin's Creed that's came out, I will pay $60 for it day one released. Just because. Fair. And I will be picking up the next Assassin's Creed. I hope some of y'all will too, so we can play some of that campaign together.
Well, you know I will, and I'm assuming Bondfire will at some point. Well, I don't know, actually. Bondfire, I know you were playing the Assassin's Creed. You were going through a stint there where you were trying to play some of the older ones, but I don't know if that ever really...
Yeah, I got to the second one, and it's great, but I
still got to beat the most recent one. I couldn't beat the one... I guess I forget the order sometimes, but it went 2 and then 2 other ones, Brotherhood and Revelations, and then 3 and then 4, and 4 being the most recent. So I couldn't finish 3 because of a glitch in my game. Like, I literally couldn't advance stages. I was like 60% in, and I couldn't advance. So I still have never beaten 3. but then I haven't beaten the most recent one just because I haven't had time. But that and beating the GTA campaign were two of my things to get done this summer, and I beat the GTA campaign. So I guess
that's such a
Bondfire. I will say that you can probably skip 2.
Really,
and
that's
then,
the best one though.
in the end, but you've also got to remember it's a really old game.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so, I mean, older games are harder to play. It plays well, but it plays just like the first game.
I disagree. I think it plays 5 times better, but...
Well, in the end, it's basically the same. So you could run through it. I would just speedrun it and don't do any side missions.
That's what I'm trying to do.
And then, because 3, I say 3, Brotherhood and Revelations are both really good. Those are my 2 favorite.
The way that you guys talk about the experience of a game, it's almost like saddening to think that you want to run and speed run a game like that so that you can feel like you've experienced it. This is an observation. I'm not making an accusation. I'm saying that it's all about the story, except that you're going to leave out 3/4 of the story just to play the main storyline.
No, you won't. Not with Assassin's Creed. It's a pretty linear storyline, and your side missions aren't really missions to the extent of they help the storyline.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the side missions really progress the story. It's just more of like interesting little like tidbits of information,
historical facts that are
That's
fun to know.
That's one thing I like about Assassin's Creed. I know we're getting way into Assassin's Creed talk here. We'll transition shortly, but one thing that's one of the reasons I like the series so much is like I like history a lot, and like you can actually learn things by playing these games. Like a lot of the main characters in the Assassin's Creed games are like real historical people that actually lived. Now, obviously, most of the things they do in the game are completely fake and made up, but they're still real people. And all the like places in the game are real. I don't know. It's kind of like in the old World War II COD games, like COD 2 and COD 3, when you actually like learn World War II stuff while playing them to an extent. I don't know. It's kind of cool.
I need you guys to pick a number 1 through 25 and write it in the chat. And somebody's got to pick me a number. Nope, that doesn't work. All right. I am a 19. We can go with 19.
Oh, I typed it first though. No fair.
Oh, you're gonna
whatever.
You're gonna think this is better.
Okay.
The number that you typed in is the number of months that you are gone.
Oh no.
What do you miss most when you come back? What do you feel like you have missed the most in?
So is this like I go into a coma? This is like I go into a coma and now I'm all of a sudden awake again?
I would like to think of it as being cryo-frozen like Master Chief. But you can pick a coma if
well,
it's the same thing.
I just wanted to clarify exactly what gone meant, because that's not very descriptive.
Did you watch
I would
Forward
agree.
into
This
Dawn?
is the one question I would agree I need more clarification
Exactly.
on.
I always have to clarify, but this one was legit.
You go to sleep tonight, you rip Van Winkle, and don't wake up for
X months.
The number of months
so everybody
that you
knows, I'm just going to make the... Archaic has 6 months, Bonfire has 7, Whack has 19, and I have 17. So
That's a long time.
That's a really long time to be asleep.
It's a year and a half, roughly, for both of us, for me and Whack.
Yeah.
Okay, well, somebody else...
I'll go first since I was 6 months. What do I miss the most?
Yeah, that puts you at January, basically. December, January.
U.S. Christmas. Oh
U.S.
my God.
Christmas.
I would miss a lot of game releases between now and then.
That's the biggest thing in the world, though.
Well, I mean, I could be very cliche and say my family.
No, you can't. That's not acceptable.
Okay.
They'll be here when you get
that
back.
would be an acceptable answer. I would. That's a lot of game releases. There's a lot of big games dropping this fall.
I'm gonna miss the entire Advanced Warfare life cycle by 3 weeks. I'll come back like 3 weeks after the next COD after Advanced Warfare. No, this is catastrophic.
Wow,
No.
I almost sprayed the computer down with water right there.
Oh, that's the worst of all. I don't care if I miss anything else of significance. I mean, I missed the entire Advanced Warfare life cycle. Oh my lord, this is a disaster.
And Destiny.
I'm done. Destiny, it's Advanced Warfare, dude. Advanced Warfare.
See,
Come on.
I don't think Destiny is going to be a yearly game. There's so much to do in it that they
It's already
can
been
add on to
confirmed.
it.
I think that it's not. I'm pretty sure.
I could see it as like a
Somewhere around
bi-yearly game.
I don't even think it's gonna be that.
Or it'll be Borderlands-esque in when it comes out. Comes out the same time every time they put out a new one, but it's anywhere between 2 to 5 years before the next one comes out.
Yeah, I mean, because they started making this game, early concepts was when Halo ODST came out. So
Wow.
there actually is a Easter egg in Halo ODST.
Halo
of the Destiny
ODST
logo.
referring to it. Yeah,
Yep. Kind of
I heard
cool.
about that.
7 months. What do I? You mentioned Christmas. I missed Christmas.
And Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is better than Christmas, I think, for the most part.
I
I think I'm about. Well,
like
right now I'd
Christmas
still
better.
say Christmas is better than Thanksgiving, but I think I'm about 2 years away because I think if you subtract how many presents that people under the age of 18 get for Christmas compared to people over the age of 18, then I'd say everything else about Thanksgiving is better than Christmas except for the present part. So I say I'm about 2 years away from getting that point, but
Spirit of Christmas,
disagree.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Well,
Jesus was born in July, so
wow.
April.
What I like about Christmas,
Man, I never saw
Christmas has always been special to me,
April
especially as a
is-
kid growing up, and just the traditions we have in my family, and just it's good family time. I mean, we all get along. It's just happy times, and everyone.
What? Your whole family gets along? That's impossible.
yeah, there's got to
I
be
mean,
some like uncle
gotta
that hates somebody else. Like there's got to. I mean, there's gotta be
I'm sorry, there
something.
has to be some dysfunction in your family. It's not allowed that you have a perfect family.
I don't
Yeah.
have a perfect family, so.
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
But I mean, even everyone in society everyone is in a better mood. You go out anywhere, just out and about, everyone's just in a better, chipper mood. So I love the whole Christmas time. I just something about it, something special about it. So I would miss that.
I do prefer Thanksgiving for basically the same reasons Bondfire prefers Christmas. That's when most of my family does get together, is Thanksgiving. So
Yeah.
Christmas is normally a smaller event for us.
Do I go next?
Yep. 19 months.
No, Oyster's next, I do believe.
No, I already
he's in
went.
order.
Dude.
You're right, he is
I
in
missed
order.
Advanced- I already missed. I already went. I missed Advanced Warfare
And
didn't miss
Christmas.
and Christmas / Thanksgiving / the Charlotte Hornets winning the NBA Finals. But that's all. That
You
was
made
all.
a stupid trade with your draft pick, by the way.
Really? We got PJ the Thug Hairston over. I don't know who did they end up picking.
You give
Who was
up.
that? I forget who they even
What's
took
his
with
name?
that pick.
Shabazz Napier.
Look,
Oh yeah, why would that'd be terrible.
I'm
pick
not.
for
I'm
us.
not trying to hate here, but do we
Basketball
really have to
sucks.
talk about NBA draft?
Okay,
you
we
have
can
both
move
talked
on.
about how bad that is in the past.
We can move in 10 seconds. We can move in 10 seconds. But Bonfire, why does it make sense to draft a point guard who's the same
Why?
size as our current starting point guard, who's our second best player, as opposed to a shooting guard when we have nobody who can score on the wing?
You gave him to Miami. You gave LeBron more of a reason to take less money, get more people around him.
Is
so he
that
can
even going to
fight
be
for
good?
championships.
Like, I don't think Shabazz Napier's arrival is going to sway his decision that much. To be complete, like,
Then why
LeBron's
do you
not
think
even
he's
signed with the
favorite
Heat, so
the fact is, Napier wouldn't have been valuable for us at all. We got PJ the Thug Hairston instead, who's going to be getting traffic tickets all up in Charlotte, but also dropping 24 a night in about 3 years. So I'm good with this. So, anyways, no more NBA talk. That's all. We'll move on.
You'll probably trade him sometime too. So.
Your time
I
is
like your
having.
new basketball court though. I saw that on. It looks really cool.
I know it is cool.
anyways,
I
whack.
will. I will miss career changes. I really feel like in the next 19 months, I'm going to have a lot of career changes coming up.
So what you're saying is your YouTube channel is going to take off, and you're going to be full-time YouTuber, right? You're going to miss that. That's all I can draw from that statement.
I'm going to miss the interest that I'm not going to make for depositing my checks into escrow accounts from all the money that I'm making off YouTube It's just going to sit in a bank account earning 3% when I could be making gazillions in.
Where are you earning
stock
3%?
market.
So your millions aren't going to be billions off
account.
all the YouTube money?
Your bank account.
Savings accounts are 3%. Mine was 3% last time I checked. That may be you know more than I do about this. The last time I checked, it was 3%.
Yeah, Bonfire's in that business.
Yeah. What are they now?
He's like, I know all the ways
I
you're
mean,
getting screwed.
savings accounts?
Yeah, savings accounts.
Look, if you don't mind, is it a credit union or a bank?
Mine's a credit union.
Okay, so realistically, if it is a savings account, it might depend on whether it's a money market or not, but I would say 1.5 at most. But I know sometimes they run promos and things like that to draw deposits.
Are those things set like when you start your bank account? And it's because I know when I started it was 3%. I know when I started
rates
it was 3%.
can fluctuate.
And that will fluctuate.
And the only time you're going to get a guaranteed interest rate is when you're in like a CD.
Yeah, see, I need to take all my gazillions of dollars that I'm earning off YouTube and put them into CDs.
I wouldn't do that.
You don't understand
I
how much
wouldn't
money I'm making here.
don't invest all your money in one thing. That's a bad idea in the first place.
The problem is if you invest in a CD, that's a locked interest rate. So if interest rate goes up, which presumably it might, you're stuck at that lower interest rate.
I'd like to apologize to everyone watching. We have, gone full old guy financial discussion. We'll be back shortly. I'll be waiting. Carry on.
You can't do that. We just did NBA talk.
I honestly, I don't know much about this kind of thing I should, unfortunately, but I don't need to learn today either. So.
Fair enough. Moving on. I was just in shock that he's earning 3% somewhere.
Bonfire finally got to flex his expertise here. We're 49 episodes in.
You know what's funny is that we've been doing this for over a year now. That's the first time I've ever heard Bonfire talk shop. Ever. In gaming, in playing games, in Skype chat, Google Hangouts, on 3-Bar Exploits. Ever. That's the first time Bonfire's ever talked shop.
I don't think I ever heard him say anything about it either.
He does a really good job at keeping them separate.
Who knew?
You got to really pry at Bonfire for any
personal information.
Bonfire real life details or information.
It's not even that personal though. Man. It's finance.
But it's still like your job. Like you don't talk about your job.
Yeah.
It's just another.
No, but
it's not his department.
Yeah, but if you saw how much money I'd make, you know that finances are not my personal thing.
Okay, Woody, let's go.
Here. But I would miss career changes because I feel like I've got a lot coming up in the next 19 months. I'm gonna be a
prison guard again.
I'm hoping to be in a different state.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're moving. I know these things.
Oh man, I'm not in the loop. We got to chat after this.
I've been playing Watch Dogs. I've been learning some things. I know things.
I'm completely out of the loop. Ooh, that's exciting. I see the chat. Okay.
That is exciting.
So,
although that wouldn't be my career choice, but
well, that's not a career.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, now I see it. I didn't see the second part. Okay. All right.
Ow.
Y'all wanna? I can't set this up properly. I'm typing. See, can y'all do the
seamless segue that'll be awful?
The seamless segue that
yes, I can.
Nobody
yes,
will
I
understand.
can.
Let's do segues like that other podcast out there. Next topic.
Next topic. I want to talk about something completely different that has nothing to do with the last topic. There we go. It's seamless. I shouldn't be the one setting this up either, since it's Wax article. But basically, there have been gamers, and now my article's not loading, so I'm going off random information. Gamers who were caught cheating on an online game. Was it in Japan, I believe?
They're in Japan.
It was in Japan.
Being caught by a Korean company. Yes.
But in Japan, and they're being charged criminally, basically hacking a game to beat everybody else. So, boom. Right, wrong, somebody comment, because I know me and Archaic are going to get something, because we talked about it a little bit earlier.
Bonfire and Whack go first, because this is going to be a while. Let's go.
Yeah, we're about to throw down, so just...
I think it's... I don't know how much ground they have to stand on, but I know when you play these online games, you enter a user agreement, and if you violate that agreement, you're technically violating the law, so... I mean, I think maybe they're going a little overboard in terms of, pressing charges. Maybe they get huge fines or things like that. I wouldn't see any reason for just banning them or something like that. Just making sure that they cannot play the game ever. But I hate cheaters, and cheaters need to go away. So if that means you get screwed, you get like fined, because I can't see jail time. I would see like being some fine, and maybe you get thrown in juvie for overnight, and you get a fun time with Bob down the street.
The legal system over there is a little different than the U.S. system.
Fair enough.
So they're gonna chop off their thumbs.
Damn.
I went straight third world.
Aren't they playing on a keyboard though? Isn't it a PC game? So they might not need their thumbs.
You gotta have that good grip on the mouse on the side.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah,
I mean, that's critical.
Like,
That is
I'm
critical.
holding my mouse right now. I'm not sure that I could.
This right here is vital. Vital.
Nothing a piece of tape couldn't help.
You know, I'm thinking about it. I don't use my thumb at all.
Desperate times call for desperate
Yeah,
measures.
you do. And moving left and right, you cannot move to the right without palming.
Space bar. Thumb space bar.
I don't
You can do it without a thumb.
I don't need my thumb. I need 3 fingers.
This is why
You
I
got
carry
fingers
you.
to
operate a mouse.
This is why I carry
Now,
you.
if I'm holding it like
I
this,
carry you is because you don't
I
use
have
your
to
thumb.
use my thumb. But here, there you go. I don't have to have my thumb on there to even hold it.
What the heck is that? How did you do that?
He's probably got giant, massive
Or-
hands, and
I do have
that's actually a
massive hands.
laptop
Are you
mouse.
using
I've
your
got massive
Standing
hands too,
laptop
but I
mouses.
can't hold my mouse without my thumb. I can't.
I'm more dexterous than you.
I'm doing it.
Take that Mac stuff
Doesn't
out
seem
of
that
here. We're
hard.
talking about real computers. Take that Mac stuff out of here.
This is a real computer. It's a track.
Hey,
I don't need
hey.
a thumb.
hey, Bondfire.
Hey, what's up?
When you can play some PC games, let me know.
Oh,
Oh, blame whack.
gross.
Oh,
Blame whack.
I've got tons of games I can play on console. I'm good.
okay. PC Master Race, get out of here, bro.
Yeah, I'm sure you're really enjoying that PC Master Race over there,
I'm
considering
wondering-
you're on your console the majority of the time, unless you're playing League of Legends, which can be played on some crappy laptop.
To bring it back,
Oh.
if a game is an intellectual property, then what you have done is the equivalent of breaking and entering on someone else's property if you hack the net code or the game coding so that you can manipulate someone else's take on that intellectual property. If what you do, if the cheating that you do disturbs my gameplay, then essentially you have done a breaking and entering job on the intellectual property that I have purchased. And because of that, if you want to send them to jail, I think you need really good evidence, and I think that a fine would be better than actual jail time. But, you know, I think we've seen too much of people getting away with cheating in online forums. I go back to I've put up a couple of videos about cheating in Call of Duty's past. You can't play some of them because of the hacking. It's so bad that you just can't play. Or if you can play, you can play one match, but you have to leave 3 of the next matches because hackers come in. And so it's worthless property now. You have essentially demeaned this intellectual property to the point where it holds no value, or holds very little value, a fraction of what it once held. You did that by stealing or breaking and entering, tearing it up, destroying what it was that I was trying to do with it.
That's a great point.
I agree. I'm glad you brought that point up because I didn't think about that. That you are basically, if hacking gets widespread enough, and then people say I'm no longer playing this game because it's so hacked, then you are costing the developers money, or at least preventing people from playing their game because they don't want to play it because you're hacking. So that is a valid point. I personally think they should get a harsh punishment, and this is okay from the standpoint of the millennial generation's already in the process of ruining the world and ruining our society. And this is just another example of people from my generation who are jackasses and arrogant and entitled and think they can get away with whatever they want and do whatever they want to. So, you know what? I'm glad that these kids who think they're, untouchable sitting at their computers because they're not doing it face-to-face in person, they think they're invincible and they can't have anything done to them. I'm glad that they're getting something done to them. They need to be thrown in jail for a week, real jail or juvie, I don't care. They need to go to some kind of jail for a week and stay there for a week. They need to have 250 hours of community service. They need to have their laptops and internet taken away. That's what needs to happen. Send the message that you guys cannot just do whatever you want and get away with it. You're gonna get hammered more than just getting some ban and making a new account and having to start over your leveling or whatever. Because that's not a punishment worth giving. You need to show these people that they can't do this, and that's why I think people who hack or like even something as simple as DDoSing a live stream or something like that, those people need to be thrown in jail, because it's not only is it a crime, but it also, you need to send the message you cannot get away with whatever you want. And it pisses me off that so many people between the ages of 13 and 25 think that they can do whatever they want just because it's the internet, and it ruins a lot of aspects of the internet. It's aggravating. It needs to stop. So there you go. Thank you very much. Very proud of my rant.
That was moving. That, we don't agree on a lot of things, but I that moved me.
Thank you. So I'd like to
two
see
monologues in 3-bar exploits this week that were worthy.
Yes, and Archaic, I'd like to see you take an opposing viewpoint after that. You're gonna try to start.
Don't do that. Please don't do that.
It's slightly opposing.
I'm already mad enough. Don't do this.
I agree with Oyster to an extent. I think they're going about it in the wrong court system. I think this is a civil case, not a criminal case. Wrong. I don't think it's breaking and entering, because they're not. They're doing the equivalent of shoving mail in your front door, which is not illegal.
Actually, that's a federal crime, but yeah, go ahead.
It's no, it's not. The mailman does it every day.
To mess with the mail service or to
you're not mess with it.
You're emulating it. So your example is wrong.
You're injecting something into their system. They're not hacking. They're injecting. Fraud. Anyways, they're injecting. Yes, it was a bad example, but I mean, you're shoving something in an open port that the company shouldn't have open and can fix fairly easily. Of course you do.
Shoving things in open ports?
I love it. That's what I do every day.
Oh, why? Just carry on.
And that just shows the futility of the argument.
Anyways.
Whoa.
I'm fine with a fine. I don't think they're going about this in the right courts. This would never win in a U.S. court, but I do not know laws over there. This would not win in a U.S. court.
I think this would win in a U.S. court because of the
not in a criminal court. Not in a criminal court.
I think it would. I think you can make the argument that they're obstructing this person's income.
That's what they're claiming. But 3 people cannot obstruct your income.
They could. If that makes them lose one sale, if that makes them lose one sale, then there you go. It's done.
If it's a 32-man server, then they can affect what's the math on that? 31 times 3, 93 people at the time.
Okay. They're not affecting Nexon. I know the gaming company.
I go into it.
By the way, Nexon is the devil, and they should all go burn in hell. Because they're just a shitty company. Y'all don't understand. I do know this company. I have played some of their games before. They're a greedy, money-hungry company. Wow.
You guys keep bringing up the money-hungry thing. What company is not money hungry?
It's okay to want money. I'm so anti money whore. I'm so anti the idea of money whores. Trust me, but like. People you can be seeking profit and seeking more money without stabbing people in the back and screwing people over to get there.
Like charging them $30 to ride a horse. Neverwinter, get with it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes. Anyways, basically, they're free to play games that they make you pay to play. They're free to pay to win.
So, like every other free-to-play game out there that exists?
No.
Legends and Dota?
There's other
very few that are, but that's the model. That's why it's so successful.
But it's not successful.
The fact that I've never heard of
a lot of people.
What you're saying is this is the example that we complain about, you must pay to win. Is this the one that we're talking about when we complain about that?
This is one of those companies,
This is what you're saying? Okay. Because there are free-to-play games that are not pay to win. But this is not the one. This is the example of the antithesis of that. That's your statement.
Like Neverwinter isn't pay to win. Correct. Yes, you got to pay to ride a horse, but that's not really necessary. You got to pay a
bunch of money if you want to ride a horse. If you want to get across the map without it taking like 4 minutes to make your character move across the map, you get on a horse and ride it across the map. $30. More
4 minutes.
or less.
All I do.
It is rather expensive for a horse, but you can get your gear. Wow.
Sorry, I'm having fun today with sound effects.
I'm
just gonna start throwing them in there just whenever it's relevant. So
well, that only took you about 6 episodes to get back to. So glad to see you back.
I would argue longer.
More like 16 at least.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyways, they're a company that I don't like that they're suing these kids in the venue that they're suing them. Take them to criminal court, and then if you get something there, you can, or take them to civil court. If you get something there, then you can take them to criminal court. In the U.S., they would never win an argument.
Maybe I should line them up and shoot them.
Okay. Yes, you should.
Burn them. Burn them. Not burn them like fire, but burn them.
They're a typical Korean company. I do agree that these kids should be punished in some way. And banning them isn't very successful because it's really easy to reset your IP and make a new account.
Exactly. I'll have an extended monologue on the failure of my generation later on my channel probably this week. I've been planning this just as a heads up for everybody. Check it out.
So that was episode 49 of 3-Bar Exploits. Please drop likes for Oyster carrying us with the 2 monologues that were very worthy. That had nothing to do with the rest of us. And if you guys don't like it, you can just hashtag blame whack and bring it. I have big shoulders. Some people are just stronger than others. I can take it. So, episode 49. Thank you to Strictly Business Gaming. I hope you enjoyed the start. Subscribe, like, and favorite to all of us. Archaic's got his channel up and going now. Was it at Archaic One Gaming?
Yes.
Guys, Archaic is so innovative that he uploads his episodes in the wrong order, so you need to go check it out right away. It's great stuff.
If you want to know what's going to happen before the episode after that,
if you want to know what happens in episode 2, you watch episode 3
Nothing
first.
really happens. It's just for numbers' sake.
You heard it here. There's no reason to watch them at all, but if you do, you can watch them in whatever order you like.
Unless you want to see some very mediocre gameplay.
YouTube's screwing everything up
not
anyway.
even any faith in your gameplay. What? Oh, geez.
Thank you, everybody. This was a great episode. Thank you for watching. Bye.